Who?
Hello everyone, this is Funds with a Funds. As you can see here, we are talking about Changbin from Stray Kids, aka So Changbin. Who is he to the outside world, and who is he behind closed doors and the overalls of the like? So let me read you the cards and let's just talk about who Changbin is. Post your theories in the comments below and what you think. So, to the outside world, So Changbin is the Eight of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Judgment, the Seven of Wands reversed, and in the second pile behind closed doors, the Ten of Swords, Page of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, the Death, Ten of Wands over a bottom, Four of Swords, Queen of Wands, the Eight of Wands, the Eight of Swords, the Six of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles. I'm going to tell you straight up, even while shuffling for this and settling in the energy, Changbin might have a tendency to space out. Like, I'm talking full on, in the middle of speaking sometimes, can just like forget totally what he's talking about unless he's intentionally remaining present and conscious in the conversation or whatever he's doing. I would find myself totally being carried away by thoughts. Maybe it's also because his thoughts are very, very vivid, but I wouldn't know if I could say if they're so intensely like distracting. But it is rather easy settling in this energy to just totally be in the middle of a sentence and forget what you're talking about, because you're trying to do two things at the same time that cannot necessarily be done at the same time, I suppose. Anyways, to the outside world, he is somebody who seems very lovely, especially to have friendships with. To be a friend to this person seems very interesting to a lot of people. They find him very fair and interesting, like, you know, somebody who is oftentimes they meet him after maybe seeing or having a presumption about how he behaves, and they find themselves being like, oh, he was actually much nicer than I was expecting. I was expecting him to be intimidating, or I was expecting him to be very unserious and constantly laughing and telling jokes the whole time, when in reality he actually helped me get my work done or whatever. With the Seven of Wands, it seems like also people feel like, at least looking at him from the outside, some people think he is somebody who is usually very sure about his decisions. I don't know if I would say self-assured, but they can tell that whenever he stands on something, he's standing on it, and that's where he's sticking. There could be a small percentage of people who believes that he does this so he just doesn't have to continue questioning himself, versus those who just believe, yeah, no, he's just the kind of person who seems to know what he wants whenever he's making decisions or thinking about things or things to do or ways of life, and feels like there is a good one track way or a maybe almost a guide that people should follow in life or live a certain way, and if everybody follows that certain way, it'd make sense, especially like, you know, personal philosophy wise. This Eight of Cups, I'm not gonna lie to you, there's 4 spilt and there's 4 left standing up. I feel like this could suggest the fact that she sees life as, rather than the glass being half empty or the glass being half full, it's just like a glass filled up halfway. So his view on life is that, you know, when things make sense for you at the time, you should do them, and if they don't make sense for you, don't do them. So it seems like it goes back to kind of being assured in his decisions and making the right decisions, and being almost what feels like self-confidence in terms of outside world. So behind closed doors, somebody who is pretty successful, somebody who has achieved a lot but is almost also burdened by the fact that he's achieved so much, because at what point can I fall, or will it all overwhelm me and I don't know it? Somebody who is very emotional, who talks about his feelings asks others about their feelings too, but is also just very watery, very emotional. Somebody who carries a lot of burdens, whether it's just his mental burdens, some of the burdens of others, and they don't even realize that he's also taking on that worrying for them. Somebody who's very, very empathetic, almost to the point that it's like, it can be harmful to him if he's not careful. Somebody who is constantly trying to change and grow and understand the world around him, but also just not stop evolving, I suppose. So learning new ideas about the world and about how people live, maybe even exploring other cultures are things that he finds interesting enough to continue pushing himself to grow as a person. So it seems like he's very much anti-stagnancy. Maybe he had problems with that in the past before. He's also somebody who tires himself out a lot more than you would expect. So even though he might put on a brave face, oh my gosh, he gets exhausted. Or maybe he could be having issues with this now or coming soon. Somebody, of course, who's very flirty, very charismatic, also knows how to get what he wants in the way that he wants it. So he be having his way. This Eight of Wands signifies also somebody who's constantly, aside from trying to learn, also trying to communicate. So dealing with him and not being the kind of person who doesn't want to try to speak or to reach out or to be understood is not really something that's going to go off with him easily, because he might have been trapped or chained down by problems like that. So it could remind him of whether it's his old self or his past and problems related to that. I just don't think he's a fan of stuff like that. He's also somebody who's constantly kind of reflecting on the past, maybe even childhood, for sure. Somebody who is really not as much of a risk taker as, some people would assume he is. The kind of person who prefers to take calculated risks because they just feel better. So yeah, you guys are gonna have to let me know, what does this feel like to you? Does this feel like an accurate read? I will also be linking his old reading, and let's see how it matches up. Go on and rush the other Stray Kids members and let me know what you think. Run over to my Tumblr, send me an ask about Stray Kids, and go read my other readings on Stray Kids, because there will be more readings on them to come soon. Join my Patreon if you want videos like this sooner than everybody else. But that's all that I have for you. If you can't get down with it, get down, don't get down with Fuzz. And yo.